Okay, I've been really feeling like I need to talk about politics. And I know it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with healing from abuse, but this is big picture things, guys, because we are fighting a big picture war here that we've been fighting since before we came to Earth. And I believe with my full heart that one of the main reasons that we have gone through the things that we have gone through is so that we can help fight this war. And we need to remember, number one, who the enemy is. And the enemy, number one, at large, is Satan. And this battle that we are fighting is between Satan and his devils, his minions, and God and his angels and his warriors. And the two sides, as we know them, are communism and freedom. And God's freedom has consequences. The consequences of freedom is that there will be some people that make bad choices. There will be some people that come to Earth who are selfish, who will rape little girls or touch little girls, little boys. And as a result, perpetuate more evil. And Satan's side is a little bit more tricky, and we need to remember what it looks like, guys. It's so important because they will twist and trick and tempt us to feel guilt and shame about protecting our side. The communistic way of thinking starts subtly. It starts with progressivism, it goes to socialism, goes to communism, ends in dictatorship. It looks beautiful. They feed you lies. You've seen it in certain stories. You've seen it in certain dystopian books. For example, The Giver. It starts out very beautiful. They want you to think that they are capable of building this beautiful society. All you have to do is give them all your trust and build a bigger government. I am against anything that builds bigger government. I'm against all big government programs. I do not believe in giving power to the government because I do not believe that the government attracts good people most of the time. I believe good people, there are good people in the government, but the government is going to attract bad people. And we can put our trust that there will be good people who will build good programs that will take care of our elderly, that will take care of our homeless, that will take care of even our streets and our, the cities and things that need to be taken care of. Aside from like maybe the military, maybe a thing here or there that I'm not quite sure of because I'm not great at politics, but pretty much anything can be taken care of by the people. As long as the majority are still following God's plan. And if we continue to remember who we are, remember that our Constitution was written by godly men, stop allowing them to trick us into believing that we are inherently bad, because we are not. Our country was built by people who were sent here by God. Our Constitution was one of the best documents ever written. It wasn't written in the most perfect way that it could have been written for the time, and I believe that it is wrong for us to judge the people so harshly, as we did not live in their times. And for example, there have always been, like I've said, evil men. Evil men have always enslaved other evil men. This is Satan's plan. This is communism. There have been evil black men who've enslaved other evil black men within Africa, within other tribes. There have been evil white men who've enslaved other evil white men. And evil white women, just the same. Some of the most evil people on the planet are not the ones that are in the street raping people or selling drugs, but the ones that are wearing white collars, working in the most tall, expensive buildings, the most prestigious castles, the most popular parts of Hollywood. The most evil people in the world are the ones that are shining in the brightest limelights, sometimes spotlights. They are the ones who are trying to run our world, trying to change our world, trying to take our freedom. That is the plan. That is Satan's plan. They will make us feel guilty. They will make us feel bad for protecting ourselves, for protecting our borders, for protecting our freedoms. They will make us feel guilty for standing up for God, for our rights to worship Him, for defending our Constitution, for defending our beliefs. I know that I have some different circumstances than most, but similar circumstances as many, and I am afraid to speak. That's communism. If we're already living in a society where we're afraid of being attacked, afraid of being hated because we don't believe in abortion, or we believe that it's right for a man and a woman to be married before bearing children. We're marching towards communism. We should be able to be free and feel safe for the things that we say. I think that it is very important that we watch what is happening in the next few elections. We be very, very careful with what is going on in media. I'm not necessarily being obsessed or overindulging in politics or media, because it gets ridiculous and it's all a show. If you've seen that movie that came out recently about the moon landing, I forgot what it was called, but they're not afraid to admit anymore what they can and have been doing on the news and on media. They can and have been able to play us, and they for years been doing that. They feed us and show us what they want to show us, whatever they want us to hear, whatever the agenda is for them. And we just saw the movie Reagan, and it was a good movie. It had a lot of really, really good quotes in it. But as I sat there listening to this movie, I couldn't help but think that it wasn't a coincidence that this movie also was put out at this time for this reason. And we're coming into a time where it's going to become really black and white, really clear, more and more clear, who's on Satan's side and who's on God's side. It's going to get ugly. But there's also an antichrist coming that we need to look for. And this guy is going to appear to be like the Savior. But his goal is going to be to take over the world. And we can't fall for that. So I think one of the blessings of going through the things that we've gone through, even though some of us might think, well, we always fall for the same guys, we always fall into the same relationships, we always end up with narcissists, we always end up with people who abuse us. You know how to recognize monsters. Even if you keep falling into the same patterns, you've just kind of needed to reverse your confidence. Just reverse that. If you learn how to reverse and heal your pattern, that cycle will reverse as well. You know how to recognize monsters. And communism looks like people feeding their children needles because they're afraid of their family line not going on for generations, for it disappearing. Communism looks like soldiers and cops raping in plain sight without anybody being able to do anything about it. Communism looks like being told where to work, what you can learn. Communism gets worse than that. Communism can turn into dictatorship that looks like what North Korea has gone through, is going through. Be vigilant. Do your healing work. Be prepared. Teach your children. Stand for freedom, because freedom can be lost in one generation. Good luck.